Just like the way that All right, okay, I'm ready now. All right. What's up, everybody? And we are back. And it's still the preseason, and we still getting better. We still grinding. We're training. And this is the preseason, the prelude to Hate2Pylon. My name is CJ Thompson.
My name is Jonathan Edwards.
And today, we are talking quarterbacks.
Yes, we are.
So, Jonathan, why don't you give them a rundown of our topics today that we're going over?
We got 3 segments today. We're going to rank our top 3 quarterbacks. We're each going to bring up our rising star for the possibly upcoming season. And then we have in honor of Patrick Mahomes' large payday, we are having a who would you pay out of 3 less than stellar quarterbacks on their rookie deals. But I think we're going to start with our top 3 quarterbacks. CJ, you want to go first?
Yeah. So, top 3 quarterbacks in the league can really go either way. But I think we all have the same number 1. But my number 3 quarterback currently right now is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a quarterback that's been on the rise every single year. He has, at first when he was in Seattle, he wasn't really put in positions to take over the game. He was honestly a game manager. He had a good run game behind him, a stellar defense, and he just went out there and just, don't lose the game. As Seattle's team has changed and matured over the years, now he's looked at to pretty much gift the ball in his hands and win the game for us. And Russell Wilson has, every time he's been called upon him, he has done well, except for at the 1 yard line, we had they chose to throw instead of run the ball. But for the most part, Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He plays at an MVP caliber every single year. And he is truly just remarkable. His play keeps elevating. I mean, he definitely deserved that big contract he got a year ago. Now I guess it's been a year or two since he got that contract. And I mean, of course, he had to flex on all of us with Seattle, we did it, like that. That morning voice or whatever. That was kind of cute. But I mean, he's winning. I mean, he's he won. He got the Sierra. I mean, she's fine. She's fine as hell. And so,
facts.
Russell Wilson is my number 3 quarterback. Jonathan, who do you have at the number 3 slot?
I'm going to agree with you and go Russell Wilson. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL consistently for the last 5 years. Maybe longer, depending on who you ask. He's been playing really well, even without Marshawn Lynch. Running backs going in and out the last couple of years with Marshawn Lynch gone. Chris Carson. Who else have they had? He's been the good one. They had Mike Davis for a little bit. CJ Pro-Size. Doesn't really matter who you put back there. They're typically going to have success because of the threat Russell Wilson presents both in the air and on the ground. He's just basically been that offense ever since Marshawn Lynch left and was a huge part of it even when Marshawn was there. Accurate, short, deep, and intermediate level, can extend plays, can take off and scramble and get you some yards on the ground. Cerebral. He's just been learning more about the game and becoming almost Peyton Manning like the longer he's been in the league, just his level of knowledge. Just really good football player. I wouldn't argue with him being 2, but I do have him 3 right now. And person I have above him at number 2 for me is Deshaun Watson. And he could fall here this upcoming season with DeAndre Hopkins gone. But I believe in the talent he showed for 3 years at Clemson and his 3 years in the league so far. 2.5, he got hurt first. But he's just been incredible. Same way with Russell Wilson. He can make plays on the run, in the pocket, extend the play, scrambling to throw, scrambling to run, accurate, deep, accurate short, accurate in the middle. He is a little bit more of a gunslinger than Russell Wilson, which if you like to play it safe with your quarterbacks, Russell Wilson's probably your number 2. I like guys who are going to sling it, so Deshaun's my number 2. Sometimes he gets him in trouble. He's not a gunslinger to the point of Jameis Winston, 30 touchdown, 30 interception type gunslinger, but he is a little bit more aggressive than Russell Wilson, and that's a trait I value in quarterback, so I have him number 2. CJ, who do you have at 2?
So for my number 2, we are going to look similar. You can call us identical twins because I am the same. Deshaun Watson is an elite quarterback. He's been elite since college. He's continued that play going into the NFL. When he came out of the NFL, in 2017, when he was in the draft, I considered him as the number 1 quarterback in that draft. And he's continuing to show why he is a great quarterback, and he's just his athletic ability with his arm and his accuracy is pivotal. I think one of the biggest things that we're going to see, and Deshaun Watson is going to have to prove to us this season, is can he win without Nuke? Can he win with subpar wide receivers? And yes, everyone outside of Nuke has been subpar. But, well, I would say subpar, but they are not Nuke level. I mean, Nuke is one of the elite wide receivers in the league. But when you have, I guess, more average talent at his disposal, thank you. He was going to have to lift his game, and he's always elevated his game more and more, especially behind a terrible coach, Bill O'Brien / GM. He's still been able to make him look good with the terrible protections he's constantly been getting, the terrible play calling. Where that's going to be a whole nother day. We're waiting for the regular season, and we're waiting to see what happens before we go a field day on Bill O'Brien. It's the preseason. It's a new, fresh slate. We're going to try to forget some stuff for now until he gives us another reason to really go in on him. But Deshaun Watson...
Oh, no. He gets a pass as the coach for right now. As a GM, I will never give him a pass. He is, without a doubt, probably the worst GM I've ever seen in my life.
Agreed. So...
But we'll give him a pass as a coach for now.
With that being said...
I don't know how he is both jobs.
With that being said, a great coach once said, if you pass on Deshaun Watson... he is Michael Jordan. But my number 1 player in the top 3 quarterbacks of the NFL is Patrick Mahomes, the person that the Kansas City Chiefs did pass up on Deshaun Watson, and showing that it's been a phenomenal pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, a little bit of genius by Andy Reid, genius by the Chiefs organization. But he just secured the bag. I won't even say the bag anymore. The bag is not even can like contain the amount of money that he got. He got the whole bank. The Chiefs dropped off the whole bank at his backyard, and he's swimming in money right now. But it's hard to say he doesn't deserve it because of the fact he's had 2 actual playing seasons. He's only coming on his 3rd season, and even though it is his 4th season because of the NFL, it's not like the NBA. But in his 2 actual starting seasons of playing football, he went from winning an MVP to winning a Super Bowl in consecutive seasons. That is very, like, you don't hear that. You don't see that. You don't see someone throw 50 plus passing touchdowns in their first,
and 5,000 yards.
yes, and 5,000 yards in their first starting season. Like, yes, Kansas City has insane weapons, but at the same time, you can have all the weapons at your disposal, Phillip Rivers, and that still might not make you an MVP quarterback or winning a Super Bowl. It takes a lot, and he was clutch, especially in this past playoffs, where every single playoff game they were down by at least 10 points and was able to come back and win the game, which was very frustrating because honestly, I'm going to be upfront with you guys because I wanted the Tennessee Titans to win. I liked the story. The narrative for the Tennessee Titans was there to win the game with Tennessee. So Tennessee was my pick, but as the Chiefs' kingdom, as they say, was not going to be stopped this past year. They were meant for destiny. Andy Reid got his first Super Bowl championship because he found the best quarterback in the NFL. And yeah, I mean, Andy Reid might have been whispering to him, because he is one of the quarterback gurus, but at the same time, when you have great coaching mixed with great talent, that's what you get Patrick Mahomes from. You get something special. He could be the GOAT. He's the baby GOAT right now. He has, like, I mean, does he really need to prove anything else? He just needs to play out his contract so he can get the $50 million. In my opinion, yeah, you can go for the rings. You want to, get 7 rings. That's pretty much it. But, like, you got a ring, get an MVP. Now it's just how many you can get now. Now we're just playing with, what do you call it? Playing with the casino's money now?
House money.
House money. There you go. So that's my number one person. Jonathan, who do you have number one on your list?
This might surprise a few people, but my number one quarterback in the NFL is also Patrick Mahomes. The guy is just unreal. Like we said, 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns his first season as a starter. Just ridiculous. MVP. Followed that up by winning a Super Bowl in his second season as a starting quarterback. Even if you want to count his rookie season where he didn't play, that's an MVP and a Super Bowl in his first 3 years.
Unheard of.
Yeah, very few quarterbacks have come even close to that type of production, both individually and team-wise, in their rookie contract. And if you ask me, he fully deserves every bit of that contract and maybe more, because who knows with the way the cap has been jumping. I know he tried to get like a certain percentage of the salary cap so that as the salary cap went up, his contract would reflect that.
Right.
Russell Wilson tried to get that too. Both the Seahawks and the Chiefs told them no. Russell Wilson ended up getting like $35 million a year, which what made him the highest paid quarterback, I think, last year or 2 years ago now, before Patrick Mahomes just became the highest paid athlete like ever.
Yeah. The fattest sports contract.
10 years, $503 million is ridiculous. But he deserves it because he's also ridiculous. He is probably one of the best arms I've ever seen. There's only like a list of 5 quarterbacks I can think of right now that come to mind. With just his power, his ability to throw with touch, on the run, different arm angles, off platform, feet not set, opposite hand, behind the back,
no look,
eyes closed, no look. He's just insane. So yeah, he's my number one quarterback. Deshaun Watson is my number 2. Russell Wilson is my number 3. Lamar Jackson is my number 4. He just missed this cut. I think these top 3 guys are just a little bit above him. But he's also coming off an MVP season, so hard to count him out.
If Lamar Jackson kind of tries to have the same success as Patty Mahomes, That means he could be on track for winning the Super Bowl this year. And then if that were to happen, then that case for who's the best quarterback next year will be a very tough situation because Lamar did play more in his first season in the league, but he also won his MVP in the second year as well, which is very similar. So that should be a fun story to watch, no doubt, for this coming season. Rising star.
That's right.
So we are deciding who will be, I guess, the next big quarterback that we think is going to make that leap this upcoming season. There's a lot of interesting names that could be there. You got guys like Gardner Minshew. I mean, Baker Mayfield can finally show some promise. Who knows? Even Mitchell Trubisky could do something. Daniel Jones is still young.
Dwayne Haskins. Oh, sorry. I mean, Kyle Allen.
You also have rookie quarterback Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa. Who's the other third quarterback that got drafted early?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, how can I forget about Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow.
I don't know.
And also, because I was about to say Jordan Love before Joe Burrow. Isn't that something?
Yeah, you never know what could happen.
You never do.
I heard Aaron Rodgers wasn't happy with the Packers for that selection. So
I wouldn't be happy
he
either.
Might be traded. He might retire. He might demand. Yeah, who knows what might happen with him? It might be Jordan Love season.
Could be.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't been the most dependable quarterback recently in terms of health. He's had a few injury concerns. The collarbone, I think, was the most recent. Or did he get a leg injury after that? I don't know. He's been banged up. If he gets banged up, now they have a young guy in Jordan Love waiting in the wings behind him. He might take over and never give the job back to Aaron. Who knows? Crazier things have happened. You want me to start, or do you want to start? All right, my guy for my pick for the Rising Star is Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals. Let's get this out of the way. He's small. I get it. But the talent is big. He's got a great arm. He's fast, shifty. He's basically like Russell Wilson on speed. Faster, shiftier. He's even smaller than Russell Wilson, which works against him, but also for him. I feel like it might be hard to see him in the backfield sometimes, especially if you have a running back there who's pass blocking. I mean, David Johnson's gone now. David Johnson's a big back. You have David Johnson post up in the backfield. Probably can't see Kyler Murray behind him. But he's gone. They got Kenyon Drake now. I think the offensive line should be better now. This season, year 2 of Cliff Kingsbury. He is DeAndre Hopkins now. And let's check his stats out last year, because I think he's going to balloon in that arena this year.
I mean, also he does have Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk, as well as other weapons that he has at his disposal.
Yeah, he had them last year, though. But you take those guys, like you said, Larry Fitzgerald, one of the most respected receivers ever. Christian Kirk, who's a young, promising guy. They drafted 2 more guys last year I can't think of their names right now. Hakeem Butler, I think, from Iowa State.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Who's like a big, deep threat. And then Andy Isabella from UMass, who's like a smaller speedster. So they've got some upcoming guys, hopefully. And then you take those guys who were a solid core, and then you add DeAndre Hopkins, who is maybe the best receiver in the league right now. I don't see this any possible way he doesn't eclipse his numbers last year, which as a rookie, he threw for 3,700 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Touchdown, a little low. Interception, a little higher than you'd like to see. Bear in mind, he was a rookie, and he also added a good bit on the ground. Let me check his rushing stats. Yeah, 544 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. So over 4,000 yards of offense, 25 touchdowns as a rookie. I think he should put up at least 5,000 total yards rushing and passing, and probably closer to 40 touchdowns this season.
Total?
Maybe not. Yeah, total.
Okay.
Maybe like 30, like a little 30-ish and 10-ish for passing and rushing. I can see him approaching 40, maybe not hitting it.
Right.
But that would be very good numbers. I think he's ready to take off. He's got good arm strength, pretty accurate, and like I said, he has one of the best receivers in the league now, in addition to his receiving core from last year. And he was pretty solid last year as a rookie. He's going into year 2. You improve his weapons, improve his offensive line. I just think he's ready to take off, especially year 2 of the system. Cliff Kingsbury's getting up to speed in the NFL. If that defense can catch up to the offensive expectations under offensive guru Cliff Kingsbury, they could surprise some teams this year.
They could. They got a lot of potential. I mean, it's a very tough division where you're going to be playing against the 49ers and Seattle twice a year. Also, the Rams in that division, which could be a really good team this year, or they could be really trash. It's really don't know which direction they're going to go in. But if Cliff Kingsbury offense keeps on schedule and keeps building off what they did last year, I mean, they have, Chandler Jones, and Chandler Jones by himself is a freak.
They add Isaiah Simmons in the middle of that defense.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that. That's insane.
Yeah. They got Budda Baker, who's a really good safety.
Yeah. Patrick Peterson's still there.
So Patrick Peterson's still there, yeah. So the defense isn't bad. It's just that defensive line could use some work. That linebacking core has been a bit of a concern over the last couple of years. Corner across from Patrick Peterson's been an issue some years. But, yeah, I think if they can fix some of that, I don't think to fix all of that, it would be unreasonable to expect them to fix all of that. But if they can fix a few of those things on defense, the offense gets humming like I think it will. I think they could surprise some teams. Maybe not make the playoffs because, like you said, that's a stacked division, but at least compete for a wild card. But yeah, Kyler Murray is my pick for Rising Star. CJ, who do you have?
Okay, so as I do my research for each show that we do here, I'm just really looking at guys who has a lot of potential, who shows a lot of talent. I watched the tape, hours and hours and hours of tape of each, quarterback that's out there, rookies, second year guys, third year guys who could get their chance. Tyrod Taylor can have another resurgence again. There's a lot of really interesting guys out here that I'm fascinated by, but I can only choose one. There's only one quarterback on the field at once, unless we're talking college. So,
or the Ravens offense 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, the Heisman special with RG3 and Lamar.
No, that was last year. 2 years ago, they had Joe Flacco and Lamar.
Oh right, yeah.
And Lamar just he was like the Wildcat quarterback, but like the quarterback in the Wildcat, like the normal quarterback.
At Waters.
When they switched to Wildcat, where he just lines up at receiver and just stands there.
Yeah.
Yeah, to no one's surprise, it was much better when he actually lined up at normal quarterback. Wildcat, regular formation, doesn't matter. He needs the ball in his hands at the snap, though.
Very true.
Turned out much better.
Joe Flacco's booty, and now he's backing up Sam Darnold.
Facts.
So yeah,
John David booty.
making my decision was very tough. But at the end of the day, I'm basing this purely off of facts, evidence, and tape. And the quarterback I think that's going to be the rising star for next year is Dwayne Haskins from the Ohio State University Buckeye, drafted in the first round, 15th pick by the Washington football team. And he was set up for failure. Let's just admit it right now. He was set up for failure at the beginning of the season. But it was also with the mixture of maybe he wasn't, when he wasn't shown that when people were investing in him exactly, then he kind of maybe shut it down a little bit. But then they threw him into the fire. And then he, was like, whoa, and tried to turn it around. And once Jay Gruden was out of there last year, and then they made the decision to go with Haskins for the last 7 games of the season. Haskins, each and every single game, now I don't think it was 7 games, I think it was like 4 or 5 games. But every game that he played, he improved. He kept getting better. And this is when Haskins was let's say 230. This offseason, he's committed himself 125% to becoming a better quarterback, being more athletic, to be able to be nimble. He dropped 11 pounds. I think it's more than that now. He's down to like 218. I think he started offseason maybe like 228, and it's down to like 218 right now, 217, 7% body fat. Just looking great. Mobility looks so much better. He looks healthy. He's been committed a lot of time in his body. His arm, he has a cannon of an arm that rivals Pat Mahomes. He can flick the wrist. His accuracy, deep ball is still there. He still hits a lot of guys high, but he's working on that. His footwork is getting better. It's proven he's cleaner. Biggest knock on him coming out of college was the fact that he was, he, as a black quarterback, he didn't have that mobility. He was a oak tree, some would say. But he's kind of been putting that to bed, dropping some weight, picking up a little speed. He's actually I think he had a rushing touchdown this past season. But he's still moving the pocket. And when he does move in the pocket, he's looking to throw it. He's keeping his eyes downfield and ready to deliver a strike to Terry McLaurin. I'm super excited to see what Dwayne Haskins does, as committed to being the starter this year. He is the guy. We built the offense around him with Scott Turner coming from the Carolina system, along with Ron Rivera as a new head coach, really committing to and building around Dwayne Haskins. And I think when Haskins is showing love, genuine love, that people that you want to see him, you want him to be the starting quarterback, he will thrive. I mean, he beat out, let's just say that it is, like, he beat out Joe Burrow at Ohio State. He is a talented quarterback. He just needs to be in the right situation, as like any quarterback needs to be in the right situation that is for him to win and thrive. So that is my rising star, and expect him to shine very bright this upcoming season. No favorites.
Like you said, Washington brought in Ron Rivera, Scott Turner, a lot of the Carolina coaching staff, and along with them, they brought their quarterback of the future, Kyle Allen. So everything you just said is wrong. Kyle Allen's going to be the starter. Ron Rivera loves him. Scott Turner loves him. So Dwayne Haskins might ball out this year, but it won't be for the Washington franchise.
See, that's funny. Kyle Allen was brought in because he does have familiarity with the offense that Scott Turner is going to be running. But at the same time, Kyle Allen does not have the talents or the skill set that Dwayne Haskins has. And I understand with your Carolina bias and your Panther bullshit, you want to bring that to Washington. And it's okay if you like Kyle and maybe you wanted him to start for you guys this year. It's okay that we have him. But he will be great at holding the clipboard and warming up the bench for us. And as Dwayne Haskins throwing 15 touchdown passes to Terry McLaurin. And then, you know what? Sign AB right before training camp. I'm okay with it.
No, sorry about that. AB's going back to the Patriots with Cam Newton, him and Josh Gordon, and maybe Deshaun Jackson once he gets released by the Eagles for something he said this week.
Yeah, I saw that. But
Not great.
Okay, so moving on to our final segment.
Weapons for Cam. You love to see it.
Moving on to our final segment, we have a little fun segment. Pay. Who would you pay out of these three quarterbacks that we're going to position for you guys? These are three quarterbacks that you have to pay to be your starting quarterback for next year, and you got to pick the quarterback that you believe that's going to give you the most bang for your buck for your next 4 years. So, the first quarterback that we have listed is Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky playing for the Chicago Bears under Matt Nagy. He's a quarterback who has athletic ability, not so much quarterback ability, but he's showing promise before in year 2. He looked actually borderline close to being, the savior for Chicago, but something happened last season to the fact that, I don't know, his ability is just gone. Maybe he can find it this year.
I think defenses realized he can't throw left, and they just put all the defenders on the right side of the field, and then he didn't know what to do. He was like, wow, there's people here. I can't throw to open receivers anymore.
Sounds like RG3. Anyway, so our second quarterback that we have,
you don't mean that,
is Josh Rosen. Currently, is he
of the Dolphins?
Is he still with the Dolphins?
Yes, he is.
With the Dolphins in a crowded quarterback room. Who was a top 10 quarterback drafted in the 2018 draft?
19.
I don't think it was 19. Because he was the same year Sam Darnold was, right? So it's 18.
Yeah.
Because this is third year. First year with the Cardinals, second year with Dolphins. This is second year with the Dolphins. So this is third year.
Yeah. Going into year 3.
Right. And Sam Darnold was one of those guys coming out of UCLA who was like people were saying he was more of a pro-ready quarterback who's been in a pro offense all his time at UCLA. Has good promise. People kind of comparing him to a little bit of like Eli Manning-esque. So you knew he was going to be trash from the jump. So it was just kind of one of those hard, pills to swallow when it didn't work out in Arizona, to where they make the quick change after year 1 to Cliff Kingsbury and then drafted another quarterback the next year, Kyler Murray, and he was gone, traded to the Miami Dolphins, to where he thought he was going to have an opportunity to make a name for himself, and then he ran into a little bit of magic, a little Fitz magic in Miami. Now we got the Tua Tagovailoa, or Tua, we're just going to call it Tua, and he's going to make all the money. He's going to make all the throws from this year. So now he's looking at being a third-string quarterback this year, unless he gets traded and possibly to a team. Maybe like I could see Josh Rosen getting a second chance in Oakland. He looks like a John Gruden kind of guy. But anyways, and for our third quarterback that we have on the list, it was really hard to pick this third quarterback, just to give you guys a little behind the curtain right here. But
it was tough.
The third quarterback that we do have is a legend in the streets. Legend. Mr. Nate Peterman, who I think currently plays. Does he play for the Raiders?
He did last year. I think he's still with them.
Which is a John? He's a John Gruden grinder. Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. But quarterback who played for the Buffalo Bills was very trash. Threw a lot of interceptions, but he has athletic ability. He can run the ball. He can throw it. I think he was on Hard Knocks last year, where he kind of showed a little bit of improvement. He's still a young quarterback. He can develop into a prominent backup quarterback. I'm thinking a Chase Daniels type of prominence, because he does have a little bit of athletic ability to run the ball as well, which a lot of people don't realize that. So he has that sneaky speed behind him, and he has upside. He's still his third year in the league, I want to say right now, third or fourth year. But Jonathan, I'm gonna give you the floor first. Which of these three which of these three quarterbacks are you dropping the bag to?
All right, first, it's easy to pick on Nate Peterman. But I would like to point out that he is one of the only quarterbacks in college football to beat Deshaun Watson.
Oh yeah, Pitt.
When the Pittsburgh upset Clemson.
That's huge.
In Clemson. Yeah. It was a very unfortunate game for me as a Clemson fan. The shovel pass to the H-back, it was just unstoppable that night. So was James Conner. But yeah, Nate Peterman beat Deshaun Watson. Is he better? No. But he's not as bad as some might think. That being said, out of these three, Nate Peterman, Josh Rosen, Mitchell Trubisky, I am going to go with Josh Rosen. I think he's been set up to fail more than maybe any quarterback besides David Carr, back with the Texans, the expansion Texans. He was put on basically a JV Cardinals team his rookie year. Barely any receivers. No offensive line to speak of. Defense was bad. Gets traded once. Actually, he was kind of gaslighted. Cliff Kingsbury kind of did him how the Panthers did Cam Newton this offseason. Yeah, he's our guy. He's the man. We're sticking with him. And then just, nope, we don't want you. At least they got a talented quarterback to replace him. The Panthers just signed Teddy Bridgewater, but that's a different story. Cam Newton should still be a Panther. Ron Rivera and the Panthers coaching staff and front office did him horribly wrong. Actually, he's probably the worst handled quarterback who I should be comparing Josh Rosen to. But that's a story for another time. So Josh Rosen then gets traded to the Dolphins pretty late in the offseason. I think it was draft night. He got traded for a second-round pick. He gets to the Dolphins. I think Devontae Parker was beat up in the first half of the season, so he was throwing to Preston Williams, who's an undrafted free agent, and a collection of practice squad receivers with a bad offensive line because Laramie Tunsil was traded to the Texans. So no offensive line, no weapons, once again. And if you actually go back and watch those games, he was making some throws. His receivers just would not catch the ball.
No.
It was as if he took the snap, lathered it up with butter, and then threw it to the receivers who let it slip through their hands for unseen reasons. If I were them, I simply would have caught the ball. That's kind of the point of being a receiver. But last year's Miami Dolphins disagree. Then they bench him. Ryan Fitzpatrick in a starter. Devontae Parker comes back healthy and decides to ball out. Who's to say if Devontae Parker was healthy and had Josh Rosen wouldn't be the starter right now. I can't not say that.
That's very possible.
I also would have liked to see Josh Rosen with Preston Williams, who did play well last year before he got hurt. I think him with Devontae Parker would be a pretty solid duo. They just need somebody in the slot now, and I would like to see Josh Rosen cook with them. They did improve the offensive line now, so it's going to be unfair because Tua's going to come in this year. He's going to have a better offensive line. They invested two top 2-round picks into the offensive line. He's got better weapons now because Devontae Parker is fully broken out, and Preston Williams is going to be back healthy. This is going to be unfair to Josh Rosen because they're going to say, look, Tua did this as a rookie. Josh Rosen couldn't do this in his second year. But it's not the same team, not the same
Definitely
players, not the same offensive line. Just an unfair comparison. I hope he does get a shot somewhere, but at this point, it's year 3. He'd be on his 3rd team. I'm afraid it won't happen, but I believe it could. So I'm going with Josh Chosen Rosen for my quarterback to pay. CJ, who do you have?
Honestly, that's a great pick. For a lot of great reasons that you had. If he was to leave the Miami Dolphins, I can see Josh Rosen getting lucky in Jacksonville. Say if Gardner Minshew doesn't truly pan out, and maybe he can get that opportunity to really show something. I feel like John J. Gruden's offense might be actually kind of tailor made for him with his abilities. A West Coast offense. That's kind of like the offense he came from at UCLA. Maybe like you can see him kind of maturing behind Sean McVay as well in LA, especially if Jared Goff doesn't really pay off like that big contract that he got as well.
He got a bag.
He did get a bag. Everyone got a bag, but not everyone's there anymore. But anyway, so my pick out of these 3 quarterbacks is really tough. Let me paint this picture for you. Just ride with me for a second. What if I tell you I build my offensive line through the draft, a bunch of young studs on the rookie deals, right? What if I say I bring in a couple stud wide receivers? I got a great running back that was homegrown already. Tight end is my only weak position. We draft a guy who's, he's okay, right? And we run the football. We run it hard. But we run a West Coast passing scheme, short passes, deep. We throw deep shots every once in a while to change up the game plan. Out of those 3 quarterbacks, which quarterback do you think can really thrive in them? I'm going to give you the answer. All 3 of those quarterbacks can thrive in a system to where the pressure is alleviated off of the quarterback. And I'm building my system to where my quarterback if he could throw a curl, and if he could throw a slant, and if he could throw a 5-yard out, he's fine. That being said, if I can get a quarterback who has athletic ability and prowess to be able to add another dimension to my offense that's already ground and pound, but then at the same time, if I can get the quarterback the ball to run it as well, we're looking at a Baltimore Ravens-esque type offense and to be able to be very volatile. With that being said, I'm choosing the guy I pick over Michael Jordan. I'm picking Mitchell Trubisky to be the quarterback that I'm giving the bag to because of the fact that when he was utilized correctly, he can do great things around a team that is functional. So my team is already going to be, it's a stacked offense, and I just need him to be able to do 3 passes, a curl, a slant, and a 5-yard out. 5-yard out for 3rd down plays, slant on 1st down, and a curl, just to, spark it up. I don't need to throw no outs, no fades, no outs. I don't need to run some deep outs, nothing like that. We're going to get the ball out quick. We're going to run the ball at you. We're going to run a little read option. You better be able to take a hit, and we're going to win games. It was a toss-up. Not going to lie. Nathan Peterman, I felt like we could use him more of a decoy. A lot of the times, you don't want to use your quarterback as a decoy, but to win games, I will game plan the hell out of it. But I think he still has strong points, but I think Mitchell Trubisky has just a little bit, this sounds crazy to say. Mitchell Trubisky has a little bit better passing pedigree, which I would be more in favor of, especially playing against tougher competition in the NFC North and the different elements playing in Chicago. So I would feel slightly more comfortable with Mitchell Trubisky than Nathan Peterman.
Can't argue with that. You made some solid arguments. One point you didn't bring up that I feel should be mentioned is the fact that Mitch Trubisky stinks. And I would never pick him under any
He
circumstances.
stunk last year.
But besides
he
that,
has a chance to be great under my quarterback guru self, to where I'm literally not giving him much to do but to 1, 2, 3. That's it. It's very simplistic, very fast offense, and remove it. Needless to say, I'm only dropping him back for 2 years, maybe a 1 year with a team option to bring him back for, let's say, $12 million a year.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go Peterman, and we are tanking for Trevor, baby. Let's go. Trevor Lawrence, 2021.
He could set the world on fire. How would you feel? This is going to be the last point before we wrap this episode up. How would you feel if Cam Newton tears it up New England? New England doesn't want to pay him. New England makes a trade with... Who's going to be trash this year? The Jaguars. To trade Cam Newton for their first-round draft pick to trade up to get Trevor Lawrence. How would you feel if that were to happen? Especially if Gardner Minshew didn't play out this past season, would you feel like that's a fair trade?
Depends. Did Cam Newton win a Super Bowl this year?
AFC Championship.
He won the AFC Championship, but lost
No. He
the
got
Super
to the
Bowl?
AFC Championship.
Okay. Yeah, I would love for him to stay in the AFC so the Panthers don't have to play him, because I'm sure he would eviscerate us. I would hate to see the Patriots get Trevor Lawrence. Absolutely hate it. I would literally cry.
I could see Cam Newton going to Indianapolis once that Phillip Rivers experiment fails.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to fail. I don't understand why they downgraded from Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby is a stud. I think if Jacoby was to get traded to the Patriots, I feel like which was probably a heavy play. But, I mean, you got Cam Newton, easily better quarterback for way cheaper than Jacoby, because he did sign an extension last year to make about $20 million.
Yeah, I think it was a 2-year, $20 million deal. So he's in year 2 of that. So $10 million. Cam Newton will make $7.5 million this year if he hits all of his incentives. Right. Which basically they have to win the Super Bowl, and he has to be an All-Pro and play like 90% of the snaps. Probably won't be getting all of that, but I definitely think this contract's going to work out for the Patriots if Cam Newton's healthy.
It always does.
He passes physical, so he should be healthy. He clearly wasn't healthy with the Panthers, and Ron Rivera was too pig-headed to pull him when he should have. He let him play through a shoulder injury for 2 years. Let him play, 2 different shoulder injuries for a year each. Put him on the field when he really already couldn't move. Hurt his ankle worse. Or his foot, sorry. Ron Rivera just single-handedly tried to ruin Cam Newton's career and almost succeeded. He had to sign for the vet minimum, basically, which is just insane for a league MVP not even 6 years ago. It was 5 seasons ago, I think.
Yeah, 2015.
Ridiculous. It was 2015 season. Just ridiculous. Peyton Manning got $38 million coming off neck fusion surgery where he couldn't feel the fingers in his throwing arm. $38 million guaranteed on that deal. Cam Newton gets $1 million guaranteed. I'm not saying Cam Newton is better than Peyton Manning, but I would definitely be more scared of Peyton Manning's injury than Cam's. And the Panthers just did him dirty. I don't really see their vision with going with Teddy Bridgewater. If they're tanking, they should have just rolled with Kyle Allen and Will Grier. If they think they can compete, they should have rolled with a healthy Cam Newton, because they finally let him sit out a season after ruining him last season, the first 2 games. And he's healthy now, apparently. I would rather have him than Teddy Bridgewater.
I agree.
I don't hate Teddy Bridgewater, but I do love Cam Newton. And that's all I'm going to say on that for now.
Well, yes, Cam Newton's definitely deserve way more, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he does this upcoming season and how he shuts up the haters. New England Patriots definitely got themselves a steal. I mean, they really they went up to a 3-year-old baby, slapped it, and just took his candy and walked off like a thief, like they always do. But
fact.
This is a great talk without the quarterbacks. I mean, the quarterback is the most important position, and this was the most important episode. And the fans, you guys are the most important people to us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for checking us out. We're still in preseason mode. We're still gearing up for the regular season. We can't wait to talk to you guys more about more football stuff we got coming up. NBA season starting up very soon, or by the time you probably watching this, the NBA season probably already started. But thank you guys for tuning in, if it happens. But this has been the preseason, the prelude to Hate2Pylon. I've been CJ Thompson with my dope co-host,
Jonathan Edwards. And I think that's it for this segment of our preseason. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll check out the next video.